Hi, this is Dr. Gaurav Deka. I'm a medical doctor and a transpersonal regression therapist. It is very less that we talk about abuse in our lives and we delve into it because there is a lot of shame and guilt involved even in talking about it. We know that there is always an element of justice and injustice whenever we talk about abuse. But hardly do we talk about what happens to the internal self, the internal landscape, and maybe to the spirit and soul that we have. In my observation, every time one goes through physical, mental, emotional, sexual or spiritual abuse, there is always an internal split, which means that one part of me believes in the fact that if I become as powerful as this abuser, maybe the world will not make me suffer. Maybe the world will not dominate me. Maybe I will not have to go through this. I must be as powerful as this person. The other part of me, which is the victim, feels that, oh, it is because of me that it happened. It is all my fault. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. And this internal split grows and grows and grows. It grows to the extent that we actually lose parts of ourselves. And when I say parts of ourselves, I mean parts of our body, parts of our spirit, parts of our consciousness, parts of our soul. There are several cases where people have come and told me that they do not like to wear certain kind of clothes, but because it would reveal a certain part of their body. Why? Because they don't like that part. In our practice and therapy, when we go back in time and explore these events, we find out that they feel as if in times of abuse, they have actually lost that body part. There are also experiences where people narrate that I can visualize myself being touched or inappropriately, being molested or doing something absolutely inappropriate, and I'm not there inside the body. I am outside it. I am probably below the bed. I am by the refrigerator. I'm in another room and I'm looking at it. When I ask them that how does this disconnection between your body and yourself feel, and suddenly they become aware that in that moment they lost a part of themselves, the part that kept on watching it. And that's exactly what happens in abuse. There is loss of your body part, there is loss of a fragment of you, there is loss of your soul, and there are actual holes created in your being from where it keeps on depleting, which may later manifest in various forms. Chronic fatigue, feeling extremely scared and phobic, not being able to take stress or manage stress, the body showing up various symptoms like boil, like sore throat, not being able to speak. There could be many symptoms by which it can show up. Abuse will never show up as abuse. It may show up in forms of disconnection, in forms of body image, in forms of syndromes where we go back in time and figure out that there is something else involved. There is a perpetrator and there is a victim involved. In therapy, our idea is to first bring catharsis in those moments, acceptance, and secondly, to somehow bring these different parts together, making them whole and integrated once again. That's what we do here. And now I will talk about 3 cases. The first case is the case of this 26-year-old girl who had come to me with a peculiar problem of the fact that she loved a certain person, she wanted to get married to this person, but she could not bring herself to even hold hands with this person in a cinema hall as well. We worked with her, and on working with her, we found out that as a child, there were multiple events and experiences of she being violated by her father, to the extent that her body could not ever connect to herself, connect to another human being. The entire memory and experience was stored in the body and in the hands because she always wanted to push with the hands, and the hand could not bring herself to reach out to another individual, so it showed up in the hands later in life. We worked with her until catharsis happened and until integration happened, and she could go back to living a healthy, normal life with her partner. The second case was the case of a model who had come, and she mentioned that she wanted to wear a certain kind of bikini which was required in the profession, but she could not bring herself to look at her back. She could not bring herself to be seen at the back by other people. When we worked with her, again, in a moment of abuse, she had actually lost her back. She said that my body part, my back is completely lost. I cannot even see it. Energetically and holistically, we actually had to clean the back, and we brought it back from that moment of trauma to this moment where it could be integrated. The third case was a bizarre case of a 25-year-old man who had come and said that he had no memory from class 2 to class 6, and he had come to only recover that memory. When we worked with him, we found out that he going back to a moment in the past where he is in his backyard. There is a basement below him, and he suddenly feels that someone has put hands on his mouth. And when I gave him a suggestion to look back and see, he suddenly saw his grandfather. There was, of course, abuse to the extent that the entire consciousness sort of slipped and went to the basement. There is a process of rediscovering it and reintegrating it. We call it soul retrieval, and that's what we did with him. And then he brought back the memory as well as reconciled and integrated. Thank you.